What's
He
another
fully
situation?
had his fingers in between every single fold of my fucking brain.
Chat.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Must have on a beat, bro. Beat, bro, any rap, he a
Chat. Wanna fold that bitch? No, you'll get mad. I fear we are cooked. I fear we, you, me, Gen Z. During Black History Month is crazy. During Black History Month is actually crazy. Let's get the iPad out because I have a lot to say. I had to write it down so I don't forget anything, okay? There are a lot of thoughts towards the situations. Situationships. 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 Not a relationship, not a friendship. Situationship. Excuse me while I go scream into a pillow because what the frick is a situationship? What are we doing here? You mean to tell me you two are cuddled up at each other's house every weekend, doing a couple things, going on ice cream dates, meeting each other's family, but if you ask them, oh, you're a cute couple, how long have y'all been together? We're actually not together. We're just talking. Don't piss me off. We're actually not together. We're just in a little situationship. But the thing is, nobody actually says we're in a situationship. A lot of y'all's talking stages are situationships. And that's what we're going to talk about today. One, what the frickin' situationship is. Two, why we as a generation just choose to hurt ourselves and put ourselves in these situations where we know we're going to get hurt at the end of the day, or we're going to hurt somebody else's feelings, but it's better than having to actually commit to a relationship. And three, I just hope this video causes you to sit back and, if at the very least, give you some type of entertainment and just provide clarity to the older people and the people of my age group that don't understand where things went quite wrong for us in our dating scene. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. But hi, hello. My name is Kimura. If you like talking about societal themes, things happening in the cultural, things happening in culture, just anything far in between social media, like TikTok trends, Instagram reels, and the scary place that it is, I'm your girl. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below if you enjoyed today's video and if you have any personal anecdotes of being in a situationship. So I was prompted to make this video because I would be scrolling on my TikTok For You page, right? And I'd see a video here and there about being in a situationship and like people talking about their own personal experience, and they obviously seem to be distraught by it. And I was like, okay, sorry for you, Stink. I can relate. But then I put the phone down and I thought, okay, that's the last I'm going to hear of it. No, I get to school, I hear classmates, I hear friends talking about their talking stages. Now, to me, a talking stage and a situationship are literally on the same line. They're on the same spectrum. A talking stage, you just feel like you're working your way into a relationship. Like there's more of a promise of, hey, we might actually get up together. No, we might actually end up together. We might actually be partners. A situationship, nah, babe, we just in this weird gray area. We're gonna do stuff that couples do. I'm getting mad at you for talking to other people, but as long as you know where home is and you come home to me every night, or like you get on that FaceTime call every night, then we're cool. Am I gonna be mentally anguished at the fact that you're talking to like other people? Yes, but am I gonna say anything? No, because we're not in a relationship. We're actually just in a situationship. Anyways, I would hear my classmates talk about like their little talking stages, and I was like, okay, so this is actually an issue. I looked it up and I saw researchers, sociologists, and psychologists conducting studies, and doing surveys, and I'm like, oh, so this really is not just an online thing, because I feel like social media will bring forth a lot of issues that aren't really issues, like the whole doe-eyed, siren-eyed, what color hair is better, what colored eye is better debate online, to the point where people are getting insecure about not having freaking siren eyes, Bambi beauty. Like, that's inherently only on social media. Like, nobody is thinking about that outside of TikTok and at best Instagram, okay? And I thought that the whole situationship conversation was going to be in the same league. I thought, okay, this is literally just a freaking thing created by things online, like created by people online, and nobody actually cares about it outside of digital spaces. Boy, was I wrong. I was wrong, okay? And I realized, after doing further research and after going down the TikTok rabbit hole, on the rabbit hole that is TikTok, and just scrolling, I was like, okay, so I was actually in a situationship. And it's so common that nobody is thinking, wow, let me go get in a situationship today. No, it's one of those things that you kind of just end up in. Like, you like somebody, they like you, you talk to see if you want to be in a relationship, but for different, like, circumstantial reasons, it's not able to go any farther. So you kind of just stay in this safe, secure space of, I don't know what we are, but I enjoy us being together, so I'm not going to ruin it by saying, oh, actually I'm in love with you and want to go into a relationship, or I can't commit, buddy, sorry, let me dip. So you either end up ghosted, or you end up like this one lady. And unfortunately, people online who say, yeah, I've been in a situationship for 3 years. 3? The number that comes after 1? The number that comes after 2? The number that comes after 2 months? 36 months? The number that comes after 3 months? 4 months? 5 months? 6 months? 10 months? 36 months? 3 years? Anyways, let's define what the freaking situationship is. If you see me looking over here, it's because I have my iPad, and I couldn't sleep the night before last, and I was like, let me draft up this video, because it's something I've been wanting to touch on for a couple of weeks now, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I was like, let me just start typing, read a few articles, and let it flow. Let just stream of consciousness get out there, and it'll hit the people that it needs to hit. And if it doesn't, I enjoyed this, so that's all that matters. So what the frick is a situationship? I have a varying amount of definitions, because if you, depending on what you search up, or just, yeah, there are various definitions of a situationship. So we'll go from the most cordial, politically correct, like researcher, sociologist correct definitions, into the most unhinged but like blatantly true and y'all don't want to talk about it type definitions. Okay, so a situation is defined as a romantic and or sexual relationship that is undefined and uncommittal, or it is defined as the gray area between a friendship and a relationship, or as one person says on Reddit, where one person wants a relationship but the other one doesn't, so they both just continue to stay together and have sex. And for my high schoolers who are in situationships, that applies to you, but hopefully without the sex. Just be protected, okay? Just I'm not encouraging teenage. Just don't get pregnant, okay? Unprotected sex? No. Teen pregnancy? No. Okay? What you do is your business. Just do it safely, okay? But back to the main part. In a situationship, you're essentially doing all the things that people in a relationship would do, but without the title. In my opinion, people tend to stay in these situationships because of the commitment that comes with being in a monogamous relationship, right? In a monogamous relationship, you're expected to be loyal, to stay to one person, to, yeah, just be freaking loyal. Just talk to the one person that you're partnered with, right? But when you have these situationships, unless it is agreed upon by both parties to stay exclusive, you're free to talk to whoever you want to, just as long as you, quote unquote, know where home is. So I just need a moment of silence, because the amount of times I've seen people say that, and what do you mean you know where home? There is no home. Baby, they have an apartment complex and you're just on the top floor. Like there is no home. There's an apartment complex like that. I'm a hush because, like I said, we listen and we don't. I judge. I don't care. Cause calm down, Kimora. But essentially, this whole, yeah, you can talk to whoever you want to. It's fine. We're not in a relationship, so you don't know me anything. Essentially leaves the other person in said situationship. I've said that word so many times today. It's not coming out. But leaving the other person in this state of like emotional turmoil and anguish, because it's like, we're not dating, but like, I don't want you talking to other people, but like, I can't say that I want us to be exclusive, because then you might lose feelings, or that'll show that I actually care. And God forbid I show that I'm a human being who wants to be in a committed relationship where I'm the only person you're talking to, because God forbid showing vulnerability in this generation. Like I'm literally going to do a whole dissection on the whole nonchalant trend. But essentially, I was reading this article and it was talking about how, I was trying to see if I had the link pulled up, but no. Essentially, it was talking about how just this cringe culture that we have, and this fear of being judged, and this fear of being deemed as too vulnerable. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of situationships happen, because one, we're lonely and we would rather be with somebody, even if it meant putting our own mental health and like heart on the line, knowing that nothing is to come with it, because we would rather sit in this weird in-between space than actually have to take the risk of being in a relationship and it working or not working. I feel like we have a fear of rejection. So it's like, it's better to have you than to not have you at all. Like, it's better to be in this weird talking stage with you than for you to flat out say, no, I don't want to be your partner. And there was this one article that talks about how we are very risk adverse as a generation. Like, we don't really take risk. I think we are very much, our social skills in our relationships very much are a result of like the post-pandemic. And I know people are like, you can't blame the pandemic for everything, but it did inherently affect our social skills. We're more online now, of course. We form relationships, romantic, platonic, whatever it is, friendships online through dating apps, through friend apps, through Hinge, through Duet, through all these different apps. So of course we have to look at it from all sides of the spectrum, right? So whenever you get into these talking stages, or you get into these situationships, whether it's online or in person, because you're not in a committed relationship, you don't have to take the responsibility for other people's emotions and how they feel, because, oh, you're not my partner. I don't even have to give you the decent respect of telling you why I ghosted you or why it didn't work out, because again, at the end of the day, we're not in a relationship, so it doesn't matter. But it does. Like, I feel like even if you aren't in a relationship, I feel like you as a person should have enough respect for somebody else. And it doesn't just have to be the people that you like, but just for a person in general, as someone with feelings yourself, knowing that you would rather have somebody come out and be blatantly honest and say, hey, I like you, but I don't want to commit, or I just don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be exclusive. I don't want to have to, quote unquote, settle down, you know? And I'm trying to think back to this article that I read that was talking about, what was it? It was talking about, okay, here it is. So Gen Z's inability to commit to relationships is just one of the outcomes of our generation's seemingly aversion to risk. Emma Camp states in an article titled, "What Are We?" that our generation is the most risk adverse, and not just in relationships. We are risk adverse when it comes to being the less likely to get our driver's license, drink alcohol, and have sex in comparison to older generations, which honestly, I don't see a problem with it. But I guess to me, to be risk adverse is, of course, to like be hesitant to take a risk, and combine that with being afraid to be viewed as cringe and, oh, you care? Like, I don't like this whole cringe culture when it comes to human beings and human emotions, because of course I'm gonna care. Of course I'm gonna love and be in love and want to show love and expect it to be reciprocated. So don't make me feel as though that's a bad thing, because I'm sorry that you didn't receive the love that you needed at home, and you didn't see what it was like to be loved healthily and loudly. But that's what I expect, and I feel like that's what everybody deserves, you know? So people would rather be, like, I keep saying this, but like, people would rather be in these weird positions than actually go out on a limb and say, hey, I like you. I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to be your partner. Because if they get rejected, oh, that's cringe. That's embarrassing. You know what's embarrassing? Being in a 3-year-long situationship with somebody that you know is not going to make a move on you. That's embarrassing. I would rather put my heart on the line and be told up front, like, no, I don't want you, or yes, I want you, than to be somebody's maybe. I'm not somebody's maybe. I'm a yes or a no. I'm not the first. I'm not the second option. I'm not going to be made to be somebody's option. I'm not going to be put on the back burner for whenever you decide that you want to get over your fear of commitment and this avoidant attachment style that you have. I'm not going to be put on the back burner. Like, nobody deserves that. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done in life. I don't care where you've come from. Unless you're just a heathen of the heathen of the heathen, like you cheated on 20 million people, 100 people. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to be treated like a second option. Like, oh, me wanting to express my emotional and romantic needs is embarrassing. Baby, it's not. It's not. I want to share with you some statistics and percentages that I found while doing research for this video, as well as some quotes and personal anecdotes of, like I said, of articles and people that were interviewed by psychologists, by people that also, like myself, wanted to understand why is Gen Z so scared of commitment and what is a situationship. According to market research YouGov, 50% of Americans aged 18 to 34 say they've been in a situationship. Over the same period of time, a report from the dating app Hinge found that 56% of Gen Z Hinge users said that fear of rejection caused them to stop pursuing a relationship. And 57% admitted that they held back on confessing their feelings for fear that it would be a turnoff. This anxiety extends off-app too. A recent survey found that almost half of young men have never approached a woman in public before, with most reporting back that the fear of rejection was what held them back. These trends foster a pervasive culture of romantic risk aversion, one that encourages young people to put on a self-protective facade of detachment and apathy, of which situationships are a key part. Back to what I said about people being afraid to be seen as having feelings, not just for others, but just in general. These trends foster a pervasive culture of romantic risk aversion, one that encourages young people to put on a self-protective facade of detachment and apathy, of which situationships are a key part. I had to repeat that twice, hoping that it would stick to your head. In another article that I read, unrequited love hurts, and persisting in a situationships satisfies an immediate desire to stay with your partner, even if one can sense that deep down they'll never get the commitment they actually want. Being alone is scarier than ending an unsatisfying half relationship. Furthermore, it's easier to slide into something murky and undefined when you don't have concrete expectations of what romantic relationships are even supposed to look like. We would much rather be in like a mentally taxing, in a mentally and emotionally taxing, not even half relationship, than to be alone. Because we would rather have that person in our life than actually have to deal with the risk of being like, hey, I like you. I love you, actually. I want to be in a relationship with you. Because we're so scared of being told no. We would rather be like, I don't know how else to get the point across. I don't think to love someone is a waste. I don't think telling someone how you truly feel is a waste. I think wasting your time not being upfront about it is a even more waste of time. I recently watched this series on Netflix. It's called One Day. It's based off of a novel, off of a book. And they knew each other for 20 years. And I said that's the world's longest situationship, because they started off as a hookup in which they didn't actually have sex. And around the same time every year for 20 years they would meet. And they had a few years where they didn't meet, but essentially you could tell that Emma had feelings for Dexter, right? And Dexter had feelings for Emma, but he blatantly admitted that he fancies lots of people. So she had to continue to sit back and watch him get in these relationships, even though he admitted that he fancied her. But he didn't want to get into a relationship with her. So she had to watch for years him get into different relationships to even get married and have a kid with someone. And it wasn't until the 2000s, keep in mind, they met in 1988. They didn't get into a relationship until 1999, 2000s at best. They wasted so much time playing and beating around the bush. And Emma died, this is a spoiler, but Emma died in 2004. So there were like maybe 4 actual years of them being together. Do you want to spend your life like Emma and Dexter, beating around the bush, knowing that you both like and even love each other, but you're scared of rejection and you would rather sit and watch them talk to other people than to go out on a limb and be in a relationship? We have to realize that we're gonna die. There are a few things that are certain in life, but death and taxes are one of them. I don't want us as a generation to feel that we can't openly love, that we can't openly be like emotionally available, that we have to be freaking nonchalant. I'm tired of nonchalant. I don't want somebody nonchalant. I don't want a nonchalant YN. I want a freaking overly chalant YN. I want somebody that cares. I don't want somebody that doesn't care. We need to stop spending our lives we need to stop spending our lives acting like we don't care. You don't get a medal for not caring. Like, I know it protects you from certain situations, but how will you ever experience love? How will you ever experience like romantic love and just certain things in life if you're just closed off all the time because, oh, I'm gonna get hurt, that's like, I'm trying to find a good analogy. That's like, I was about to make a sunscreen analogy. That's like putting on knee pads to go skating, right? You fall. Actually, let me just hush, okay? I don't have a good analogy. But you may get hurt, you may not. But if you don't try, then you'll never know. You'll never know. So, I don't know. If you don't take anything else away from this video, take away these words. And hear me clearly when I say this. To love is not cringe. To want to love is not cringe. To express your love for somebody else is not cringe. To be emotionally intelligent, to be emotionally available and open and vulnerable to other people is not cringe. It will never be cringe. What is cringe is people that try to play in your face and be like, oh no, I don't love you. That's cringe. That's embarrassing. Get on my face. You're wasting my time. I have other suitors that will actually openly tell me like, hey, Pookie, I love you. I want to be with you. Cringe is wasting your time on somebody that doesn't know what they want. Cringe is letting your own like attachment issues, like avoidant attachment, anxious, just whatever type of attachment or your fear of commitment be the reason that you hurt somebody else. So anyways, that's all my thoughts on this video today. I hope you all enjoyed and I hope you all have an amazing day. If you have any personal anecdotes or just anything you want to let me know down below in the comments, don't be shy. Sorry if my voice is a little raspy. I don't know why. Anytime I try to film, it just wants to act up. But yeah, I love you all and I will see y'all in the next one.